Hi everybody, welcome back. It's Saturday. Yeah, that's what day it is. It's Saturday. And before I get started, I want to do something because I forgot to do this last night. Want to wish Doug Hensley a big happy birthday. I hope you're doing well, Doug. I hope you had an enjoyable day yesterday. Happy birthday. And I'm glad I caught up with you on your YouTube channel, and I enjoy all of your work. So thank you. Okay. So I started working on a new kit. It's been a little bit too cold to go out in the garage and work on my World War I diorama. I've got some blue foam and stuff like that I need to cut up. And it's just been too chilly to sit in there and do all that kind of work. But I might actually get a chance this week. It's supposed to warm up. So hopefully I'll get a chance to work on that a little bit more. But in the meantime, I'm still waiting for some of the oil paints on my other figures to finish drying before I work on those. So I decided to work on a car. So I am working on this Ferrari 250 GT. By Fujimi, and see if I can get this in the shot without knocking everything over here. Yeah. So, so far, unlike my last experience with one of their kits, this one so far has gone together pretty well. But I do have a couple of questions that I need to throw out there to the community. So first, I'll show you the body color. So I painted this, I primed it gray using Tamiya's light gray primer. And then I used Tamiya's TS8 Italian red. And there's 2 coats of that on the body. And I think it actually turned out really, really well. I obviously have not put any of the Ferrari decals on this yet, or not, which is part of one of my questions for this kit. So I was going to put the decals on, and then I was going to put some clear varnish over it, some gloss varnish over it. But I don't know. I already have some Rust-Oleum varnish, gloss varnish, but I don't know is if it will react to the Tamiya paint that I put on here, or should I go out and buy the Tamiya varnish? So if you guys have an answer to that, that would be great. Just throw it down in the comments. I don't want to screw this up again, like I did with the paint job on the other one. So yeah, if you know if I can apply the Rust-Oleum clear varnish over the TS8 Italian red by Tamiya without it affecting the paint, or should I go buy the Tamiya varnish that they have and just use that? So yeah, I think the paint job actually turned out really, really well. I like it. Actually laid down, didn't pool, didn't do anything, and did, this is essentially 2 coats of that paint. It looks really good. Okay, so with that, I have a couple of questions about the kit, and I need some advice from everybody. First of all, the kit actually started to go together very, very well. Here's the chassis. I haven't done the interior yet, so I'm not going to show you that. But like the engine went together well, the frame went together perfectly. Unlike the last one that I did, there was no fiddly cage parts that I had to put together in order to house the rear engine and all that kind of stuff. There was a couple of things that were kind of weird. Let me get my pointing stick real quick, so you don't have to look at my fat fingers. So the first one if you can see here, this part of the gearbox for here. So if you read the instructions, it just has you put the drive shaft on this, but then it doesn't connect to that. So if anybody does this kit, you actually have to push this through in order to get it to connect up to the differential back here, so that it'll actually attach and not flop around. So there's this long drive shaft, actually goes all the way through to this, so it'll connect to that. So just as an FYI. Also, this kit actually fit together so well that some of the pieces just snapped on and didn't need glue. It was kind of interesting. So the other issue that I have, you notice here, the exhaust pipes here run up to this, run up to the manifold. So if you look at the instructions, just grab them real quick. So if you look at the instructions here, they actually have you assemble the engine, right? Then they have you put the exhaust pieces onto the engine block. Then they have you put it in here. But if you attach these to the engine first, you will never get these things to match up with this, to the exhaust pipes that are already installed on here. And mostly because there's this, if you can see it here, there's this cross member here and this cross member. And that prevents you from sliding this into this spot. So I ended up having to take these off, mount the engine. Then I had to feed these through this hole, and I'll show you, in order to get this to work. So if you'll notice here, I actually had to feed this through here, through this gap, and then match it up to the engine. That took a while. It was fiddly, to say the least. I mean, trying to get everything to match up correctly. Now, the only other thing, and I haven't quite finished the dash and the firewall, but you'll notice here with the radiator, right, these two flanges here, right, just kind of sit. If you look at the instructions, and I'll show you, there's this little piece here. Where'd it go? This little nub is actually supposed to attach, well, according to the instructions, attach down here, but this is at an angle, so I don't see how it was going to attach to anything. And it's the same thing on this side. So it does the same thing, right? So the radiator's pretty level. These attach at an angle. Then there's this little nub that's supposed to attach to something. But if you look at the instructions, it's supposed to attach to the frame. There is no way in the world that's supposed to work that way. So there's that, and I'll show you that in a second. So if you look at this, see how this piece here is supposed to attach to a hole that's in this frame that's underneath this. Well, there's no way this is going to sit like that. And then if you look at, because I then thought, I was looking at this, looks like the radiator is sitting much lower than this bar. But if you look at this piece here, the radiator actually sits on that bar. All right, and there's two holes there where it fits in. And the hoses for the engine and everything link up to the radiator perfectly once everything is sitting in here. So I know that's in the right spot. but there's no way that this is going to fit here the way it's talking about. So yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to go together once I finally get the firewall finished and put in there, and then try to put the body on it. If anybody's done this kit before or has any suggestions, I greatly appreciate it, because, and I have not glued these two things on, but there's just no way that this little nub down here is going to match up to this frame. And then the other part is that the manifolds here don't give you access to it. So it's just, I just don't see how that is supposed to work. And again, I have not dropped I'm still working on the dash. And so I'm still working on that part and the firewall and all that kind of stuff. So I have no idea how this is actually going to sit in there until I finish this. So that's kind of what I've been working on this week. I did, so last week I tuned into Palmer and Rusty's live chat. And for the life of me right now, I cannot think of the name of it. Sorry, guys. But anyway, Palmer and Rusty do an excellent live chat every 2 weeks. And if you should actually tune into it when you can. And I'm sorry, guys, right now, the name, the Musty Wargamers. That's it. It's the Musty Wargamers. You should really tune into that if you're into gaming and painting figures and things like that. There's actually quite a bit of discussion around a lot of different things. So we were talking about different ways to do bases and things like that. And I had promised to do a video on using Liquitex gel medium for using it to sculpt and, like add debris and things like that to it. Because it's similar to some of the gel mediums that like AK and Vallejo make. But I haven't gotten around to being able to set all that up. I'm waiting for a couple of the bases that I've made are ready to dry, so I'll probably have that video next week. So anyway, that's all I got for today. So yeah, if you guys can help me out with the questions. So one of them was, can I use the Rust-Oleum Clear varnish on the Tamiya paint, or should I go buy the Tamiya varnish? And then the questions about the body assembly on this car. If you guys have any answers for that, that would be greatly appreciated. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. And again, Doug, happy birthday, pal. I wish you many, many more. And I hope everybody is doing well, is having a wonderful weekend so far. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate it. I hope you find the information here fun and exciting, and I hope it keeps your interest. And to all my longtime subscribers, thank you. You've made this an enjoyable journey for sure. So everybody stay safe, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.